Well people, I'm here at Horcott Fishery, which is a two-lake complex in the sort of Cotswold Water Park area. Gravel pits, been happy before. Last year I didn't do any good, but I'm on the Tench Lake. Going to do an overnighter. There's a lot of guys carp fishing on the main carp lake there. Is really good. Unfortunately we've had, I'm going to say 8 days straight northeast winds, so I don't know what it's going to be like for tench. It's not something I favour. I soon have a southwesterly or westerly, a bit more warmer, a bit more mild, traditional airflow direction. So hence the fact I'm filming inside the bivvy here. So you can see outside, it's a lovely view. Quite a lot of weed over there on the lake generally. Absolutely tap water clear down there. Tap water clear it is. Might even be able to get some ground bait shots underwater for you. And Lee, who's just brought me here in his buggy, you can get a little delivery service here at Horcott if you've got loads of gear, which I generally have with the cameras and bivvies and bed chairs and all that. I think they've got 2, as I write, that they can deliver people to the swim, which is handy for a small fee. It's well worth it. I would suggest that if you've got a lot of gear, and I'm fishing in the swim at the very end of the fishery here on the Tench Lake. But over there I'm going to probably put one rod here, one rod there, but I've got to try down here because it's so clear, very, very close in. The best tench fishing I had been on the main lake. We got a film on that years ago, and it was really, really good fishing. But now I'm on the small lake. So windy up on the big lake. I don't think I'll be able to make a film, to be honest, because I don't want wind in the mic all the time. I've got maggots, sweet corn, sort of casters which I won't be really using. So, and of course I've got some dendrobinas. Grant sorted me out. Grant's tackle up. He sorted me out all the decent bit of bait there, and that's sort of all you need. You could put small pop-ups on, I guess, stuff like that to allow for the weed. I can't be bothered, to be honest. So I'm just going to use traditional maggots and worms. A feeder rig, I'll show you. Wow, that wind's really annoying. Hopefully I've got this set up at the right angle so I can at least get some decent sound in there. It's about, whatever it is, 2:30, so early doors for me for tench. Get some bait in. I've got very, very little brown in that. I've got lots of little, Mike gave them to me, some of the Skrettings pellets there. Can you see those, the small ones? They normally put them in the PVA bags for carp, but you know, you could use them. They're Skrettings pellets, just a regular coarse pellet. You get any make really. Bailey's horse feed. That will go really hard without too much brown in it, but I'm just going to mix it a bit wet. But what I'm going to mix it up with is a bit of this. I'm going to put it in the ground bait, but don't just put it in as a syrup. Put it in a spare bait bucket or something like that, so it's sort of diluted and slop it around a bit. So I'm going to put that in there. Experiment, guys, it's an experiment. I've not used it before. I normally use sweet stuff, strawberry and stuff like that. So this is a different one, but that's what it's called. Match Cell Sticky System, PVA friendly. Oh my god, it says carp and coarse. Why don't it say tench? Anyway, let's get some ground bait out there, and I'm going to put the maggots in with the ground bait. So I've mixed all the cell. It smells lovely. I think Grant told me it's coconut or something in it, but I do like the smell of it. Fish seem to like it as well. That's thickening up now. I've got some hemp here. I put some of that in as well. When I say some of that, mostly all of it. And then these are older maggots and that have been sort of left over. They can all go in. I want to say some because might be a chance of getting some rudd going on the main lake tomorrow if I actually get a couple of hours sleep tonight. So I'm going to mix all that in, as you can see it, all in together, maggots the lot, and I'm going to let them dig around on that. Use small swim feeders. Not going to use the great big chunky heavy ones. Now I'm going to put a little bit in close just to show you, because I have got a pole. I can put the underwater camera on while it sun's out. just so you can see, I've made up some balls of ground bait there. I'll show my hand in there. I don't want to get my covered in sticky stuff. Relatively small, because I want to keep them about the same size, or double the size of the feed I'll be throwing out there. But I'm also putting in there the older maggots I was given, because they're slowing up and turning into casters. If I put my real fresh maggots in there, I couldn't mix all these balls up in time, because the maggots would wriggle and break them all up like they're doing now. You can see there. But these are a bit slower, so that gives me time to get them in the water. Right, let's get them out. They're not doing any good here. The other thing is, I probably don't need to catapult them, so I can throw them more accurately. And over here, there's a point over there, there's a clear patch. I might put a few there, because once it gets dark, that's going to be tricky to cast to. That I want to spread them around a wider area and make the fish move around a bit more. If you get the chance, get yourself a cool box for keeping your bait cool, especially in the summer. So I'm going to be using some of these dendrobina worms here. I'll put them on hook later on. This is an 1/8 of kilogram, 125 grams of dendrobinas, normally good for a tench or two. I've got my red mags, a bit more hemp, which I'll probably save for tomorrow. So to keep everything cool, and I've got in the bottom of that, which I'm going to catapult out. I left it frozen when I put it in the carton here. Now that's thawed out, but it's also doubled and kept the worms and the fresh, what I call the good maggots, safe and cool, so they won't turn into casters too quickly. So I'm going to cut this open. Yes, it's the cheapest sweet corn I could buy, £1.50 or something, and catapult some of that out there. And basically I can't do anything else except sit and wait, because they're very unlikely to come out in this sunshine. I don't actually think I've walked around here before. I don't know, it's a sort of public footpath. 90% sure I've never been around this lake. I just turn up, go in a swim. I know they had a smaller lake at the back. I used to have some fish in. I think that's around here. As you can gather, I'm not even fishing yet. I'm still exploring. So I put the bait in. You can see there's nothing on it. I'm not surprised. They're probably shell shocked. I thought they said there's a lot of little fish in here. I don't know. Rudd and stuff like that. Looks like a doggy jumping place. Walking through here is no breeze, and I'm hoping it's going to drop off for tonight. It's quite deep even in there, 2 or 3 feet. And it makes me wonder, where do all the tench go to in the sunny weather? Are they in the middle of those weed beds waiting to come out? I'm banking on the dusk, obviously through the night dawn. Fingers crossed, guys, I get something. Goodness me, it's a long way to come for nothing. There's a nice swim for float fishing here, albeit a lot of swan feathers there. So Mr. Swan might think this is his swim, his patch, and give you a lot of grief. So here's another nice swim, opposite where I'm fishing. Another gentleman next to me. Oh, I see loads and loads of little tiny fry down there. I mean, like millimetres long, a cloud of them. So what they would be, I don't know, perch, roach. I'm over on the far side there, and occasionally we'll see a tench drift across this out there, if you get the light right with polarising glasses. It certainly looks very fishy. They've got to be all in the weed beds. Well, the wind's come up again. Doesn't look it here, but it keeps coming through in pretty big gusts. I've got the rods out. Got a pair of feeder rods here. Avon's £5 line, £6 line, whatever it is. Usual washing up bottles. I've got Grant's buzzers here, or bite indicators I should say. No small fish I've seen come in, and I'm just losing the shadow line over there where I baited up. I haven't seen anything come on it at all, and that one I can't quite make out even with glasses, so I'm going to lose that, and down here as well. And these guys fishing around, I haven't seen anything caught yet, but that sort of means nothing because it's probably about 4 o'clock, something like that. But the shadow line is going off of there. My 2 feeders I've thrown are way out there, just in the hope that if they are laying out there, they just stumble across what I might pick one fish up. A couple of little beeps here. I've got a feeling I got plagued by small perch last time I fished worm. So I didn't do that great here last time. I think I had 2 fish, that was all. But listen, you've got to try, each day is different. Beautiful clear blue sky. It's just when these big gusts of winds come through, it's really annoying. And to be honest, it's pretty cold as well. Well, it does seem very untench-like conditions. I've seen nothing. My phone battery's out, but I've got one of the little power packs back in the car, so I wound in, walked all the way back to the car. Didn't see any fish caught. Got a little power pack, so I'm back, so now I can converse with the wife or Mike or anybody. Hopefully no aggravation when I switch. I don't normally put it on when I'm fishing, to be honest, because I don't need any grief and aggravation phone calls from jobs. But very untench-like conditions. It's cold. I don't think I've fished this cold before for tench. But walking around, one guy, this guy, there must be 15 anglers, 2 or 3 rods each, about 40 rods out. I saw one carp caught about 10 pounds. That's it. So, getting near the stage of grub up. Obviously, with this wind that's even picked up, I thought it would drop off, it's picked up. It's going to be a nightmare. I fear a sleepless night with the buzzers going. Just with the wind, not the fish. I don't know, I may be wrong. The water temperature doesn't feel too bad, but the air temperature drops out really quickly at night in the last couple of weeks, and I feel that might put them off. So we're approaching the cook-up. I'm approaching taking off the polarising glasses because there's no point, because I can't see anything now anyway. Sun is off the water, so those tench got no excuse not to get hold of. I've got maggot, sweet corn, worms. It's all out there. See, little beeps with the wind. Maybe tiny perch. I vaguely remember before I got pestered with tiny perch all night with worm. I had to come off the worm. I'd like to be sitting out there, and I'm huddled inside the bivvy just to keep out the cold wind. This global warming business has got a lot to answer for. Mind you, my rods are way out, just walloped out there. Figuring maybe they come out of those weeds over there first before they go into the baited area. Obviously as it gets darker I'm going to start dropping my feeders on the baited area. Well, I just had a major fracas with 2 swans, 4 cygnets, all tangled up in my lines. How on earth I got sorted out, I don't know. Then they found the ground bait over here. Oh my god, it's been absolute carnage. I nearly went home. I thought, no, it's getting dark in an hour. They've cleared off over there with some persuasion, wet nets sprayed at them. So on, you're going to have something to eat now. It's just hopeless at the moment. I don't think we're looking for one fish, I think we're looking for a bite. I bet this will be crooked. Yeah, lovely wind. Beep beep. Wind is just not laying down, folks. This will make up for it. I think the way things are going, I've probably forgot my knife and fork. Well, it's cosy in here. Do you know what? I vaguely remember the last time I didn't do any good. I think I had 2 tench. I think it was carnage in the morning when the ducks found the swim. I'm almost better to stay up at 4 o'clock in the morning and just stay up and shoo the birds away. Yeah, it's almost worth staying up, to be honest. I mean, normally if you go carping, at least you're on the bottom, you got your bolt rig. But this is a shallower lake here, so all the nice bright white ground bait I put in there to attract the tench attracts everything. Well, we might get lucky. I think we're looking at 1 fish, and I've already had a scouting session seeing what I might add a salvage tomorrow with a bit of float fishing on the Rudd Lake, so I'm not putting any more bait in. I don't think maybe a couple of 3 balls out. There is no point if I'm not getting bites. I just have to bank on 1 fish. I don't mind as long as it's about £5, £6 would be even better. Oh, yummy. Oh, I forgot the cheese. I'll put it down here to melt the bivvy. Right, bivvy, look, I've got cheese there. Oh. Well, the mozzies and little moth things are starting to come out, and that tells me hopefully the wind's going to drop a bit anyway. Otherwise, if it's that strong wind, they wouldn't be out because it's too cold even for them. But they're all zooming and skimming around. It's also sort of a bit of time that you think should be a bit of movement on the tench. But somebody came around and just told me that they had a big carp out of the main carp lake. I think it was 37 pounds, real big one. So nice fish, took them half hour to get in apparently. That's a nice one. I'd settle for a £3 tench at the moment. 2 lads the other side of me, they've gone, both blanked. 3rd guy was here, he was float fishing, he went to a feeder, when I got hit, no fish. So, looks like I'm in good company. That's 3 blanks, I might be the 4th. 2 other guys on the other side as well on the bank there, I don't think they've had a fish. Well, there's no other way to cut this, guys. I don't know how to break it to you. I've got trouble breaking it to myself. A total blank. I cannot remember the last time I went tench fishing in June and blanked on an overnighter. There is not a fish moving, bubbling, fizzing, nothing. The other guys I can see just zipped up. I don't even, maybe they had their rods out, I don't know. Just bizarre, the wind has not stopped. It looks beautiful, I'm sure it looks beautiful through the lens there. I assure you it's horrible and ripply and cold. Look, this tells you I've got a hoodie, I've got my Helly Hansen boat fishing cod jacket on, and it's June, I don't get it. So I'm going to have to try and find you guys something else to entertain you. I'm sorry I couldn't catch anything. I'll tell it as it is. Can't use too much bad language, but I'm not happy. So it's 9:30 in the morning now. Even at 4:15 when I got up, I had another bait up. Well, a couple of the rods the wood's still there. Such a shame. Anyway, let's not labour on into a depressive fit. It's the way it is. I've got quite a bit of bait left. Obviously I didn't put no more bait in. I haven't put any bait in after yesterday. And the other guys, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other blanks. It is what it is, 6 counting me. It's just that northeasterly for the last 10 days and cold at night. I feel. Guys, soldier on, don't go away, we'll find something else for you. Well, guys, I'm back home, driven all the way back home. Finish off the last of the grub, I'm going to have a sandwich. The wind is still blowing northeast here. It looks a fabulous day, and it is indeed a fabulous day if you were doing anything except trying to catch tench. So that's gone by the ball. So I'm going to go over to Watmore. I'm going to try and stay awake. I'm going to go have a shower, freshen up. I've got another hat I'm going to wear. You know what I'm like for superstition. I figured might have been the hat, I don't know. But then, how would that have affected all those other guys who were blanking there? They didn't have the hat, did they? Listen to it, the wind. You might not pick it up in the mic, trust me, it's there. It's horrible. So, what I figure, I've left my leftover bait from Hawcott in the back of the car, slightly in the sun. So those maggots will start to turn really fast. Some of those will be buoyant or floating. They turn into waft maggots. They're the ones that just move mysteriously like this, like a comic book hero, zooming around underwater. Anyway, they won't last long because the roach will Watmore demolish them. But I'm figuring, if I put those in the ground bait, drop the ground bait down, I don't know, I still don't know whether to use float or ledger, fairly close in, not the super margin, which I normally do for the cut. It goes down to the bottom like this, it breaks up, and then those will pop and, you know, gradually work up to the surface. Therefore, will I get the roach here that are coming up? And if I fish a sinking cast, that's sort of 2 meat, if that makes sense. That way, I haven't got to keep feed, whereby the casters sink down. If they break up in the ground bait, as they're knocked around by the small fish, they might float up to the top. Just an idea, another one of Graham's theories. But also, on the bottom there might be a chance a bream comes in there and Mr. Mussel, the carp, will sooner or later show up late afternoon. So that's my theory. There it says on the cup there. I wish I was going fishing. I wish I was catching something. So the difference between going fishing and catching is a mile apart, isn't it? So, as lovely as it looks here, and as tempting as it is to go and sit in that bed chair there, I'm going to soldier on, have a shower. I've got some accounts to do. Might take me an hour or so, and then get over and have 2 hours or what more. See if I can salvage you guys something. Cheers. Ah, there. So here I am, down at Watmore. I've never fished this end before. I suppose you call it the north end, north bank, I think they call it. It's very windy way down there. You can see all the ripples. Might get fish there, but I've had enough wind from last night. So I set up in this swim. I don't know what they call that weed. Somebody tell us what that weed is on the right. I call it spear blade. But if you get a fish going there, generally it will hang the hook in there and you get busted off. It's horrible stuff. But I'm fishing on the corner there, seeing if I can catch anything, you know, roach. I'm hoping for a nice perch. And I've baited up round the corner there. Just loose stuff at the moment. This is what I intend doing. You can see I've got just a swim feeder rig, quiver tips. My rod rest is somewhat different. I've got barrow rings there for the straps, and if you go down I've got some metal tubes there, so you're not putting it into the ground here. You're supposed to put the bank sticks back here somewhere. Understandable, don't want it destroyed. So I've got around that by adapting my barrow, which can take horizontal ones, or I can put high ones like this. So I'm going to try the high ones. Got my bait here. So what I'm going to do, you can see I've got the ground bait left over. I'm going to get ones that are just on the turn. Find a bit of sweet corn in there as well. Like that. Spill some sweet corn as well. Now, plain cast, I'll get this in quick. You can see here, all these are turning. They're going to be just on the verge of floaters. If you dig down the bottom and turn it over, you can see there's still plenty of maggots there. So I'm going to skim off some of these. They can all go in together with a bit of bran. I'll skim off the top first, because that's where the... I think I'll just concentrate on worm, because they do get some small tench in there as well. Yeah, it's looking good. Plane over there, 90% sure is a Spitfire. I've flown up alongside them. 90% sure that's a Spit. So I'm going to forgive him for making a noise. Wish he'd come over the top of us. So have a nice shower, change your clothing. Might be lucky, change your hat. Look, green one, just in case it could be. Oh, indeed, it's a Spitfire. Square end to the wings, it could be a Hurricane, but I think it might be a Hurricane actually. Of course, I didn't have the big lens camera, I could zoom up on it, but you know what, check out our film on Spitfires. I've done one, really good one. Have a look on the playlist. It's about Spitfires, and you see it actually flying. I'm filming from one plane to another, really good. Okay, let's get these feeders out. Got a sort of brown tinge to it, which is a bit unusual. Nice quiet corner here. I check a couple over that way. So I got both those rods out. Within a minute I'm getting bangs and bites. I'll go up there just so you can see them. Probably small perch, could be roach, could be anything. Just on the tips there. I'd say could be roach, could be perch, could be anything. I'm sitting right there on top of the rods. I put the brolly up at the back, trying to give me a bit of wind break. The net is going to go down. It's been dipped once. It's got to lay slightly to the right. Perfect. That's perfect. But I'm afraid I'm now moaning because I'm too hot. Because I'm out the wind. So I was moaning at Hawcock because I'm too cold with the wind. Now I'm out the wind and I'm too hot, so I've got to take my top off. Can't win. Need a fish to turn the day around. The other thing you can do when you're waiting for bites like this, which I'm getting a few trembles, especially for late afternoon fishing, just in the margins, if you've got plenty of bait spare, just get like 6 maggots, 6 casts, and just keep clinking them in. And very often you can get some floating, some sinking. Mostly all sinking is better, so they're tumbling down, and you might get some roach come on the inside, and then you can change over one of the rods and go float fishing. Just get a little pinch just like this. And sometimes you get, I can see them flashing down there. See if I can get any closer for you. Needs to be done pretty regularly. They're sinking down there. Yeah, they're flashing all the. Oh my God! There's a ton of them. Okay, I've got a fish on the feeder, guys. I've got worm. It feels a bit of a strange fight. Just got to check this is not a perch or something. Don't say that's a target species, and I spent that all night fishing for them and not catching them. Looks like a bream. There we go, small bream there. Well, I dare say there's going to be some others down there as well. You might ask yourself why you're using a swim feeder, Graeme, when you've already put some bait in the swim. The reason being, hopefully on the camera you saw, those hordes of roach will be ploughing through all that ground bait, casters, maggots, sweet corn. Very likely there's not a great deal left, and that's without the bream coming in there, the tench, we hope. So that's why I continually top up with a feeder. That's why it's called a swim feeder. Also taking the anti-reverse off, so if I do get say like I'm going to get a tape from a black-headed gull in a minute, they're not happy. I've got a bite on that worm straight away, so I'm imagining there's other bream moved in there, but I'm going to try and put the roach rod out. I've rigged up float here. It's only a very, well, it's in the bushes now, but I'll show it to you in a second. I'll split between the float and watching the quiver tip there. So there's the float. It says Taylor's tackle. Wow, that was a bite. Somebody watch that quiver tip right by me. We're looking at the float. 7 number 4. It's like 1 number 8. So I just kept piling a variety of shot on until such time as it cocks to where I want it. I'm going to put a shot. Just there, about 6 inches from the hook. It's always noise of some description. So I'm going to go for double red. So that's what I've got. I could go to an 18 and a single maggot, but I just want to get a slightly better one. We'll just see if we can get them going again. Yeah, they're there, boiling. Just need half a dozen maggots at a go. Follow straight up with the float. It's going to go there. How fast is that, guys? Not a bad roach either. Look, 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 look. Not a bad roach, there's a perch. I need to get my fish ID right, don't I? There you go. Perch, who always like red maggots. They'll come to wherever you want to feed, as close as you want to come. Right, float straight out. My goodness me. 2 perch, I would have put that down as roach all day long. Or not. Now, you guys, you can amuse yourself doing this while I'm waiting for the other rod to go off. It's just like sort of kids fishing. And they're bumping it now, which tells me that generally there will be smaller roach. And if you fed a lot, they would actually come to the splash of the float, thinking it's more bait going in. I'll be amazed if that's another perch, and it is indeed. So if I'm catching perch like this up in the water, why am I not catching perch on worms? Okay, this time I'll put double casters on. See if we can get a mini frenzy boiling again. So they do say if you can get a roach on casters, get them going, you generally get the better stamper fish on the caster. We'll find out. Probably get another perch. Downside is with casters, which is why they're a good bait, they love it when they pop them. They get all the juice inside, and of course you only, as you can see there, they've been crushed, so they're more of a delicate bait. Whereas with maggots, the live maggot, you're going to get more takes out of it, is what I'm saying. We'll try a single caster. Now generally a caster hook would be a lot finer wire. Got a little bit closer in this time. I'll tell you what, perch are getting bigger. So, casters or red maggots doesn't seem to make any difference. Double white maggot. And an aeroplane. There's two missed. You see how you get more than one cast out of the maggot as opposed to the caster. This feels a bit bigger. Oh, he came off. It was another perch. I've gone back to double red. Finally, a roach, guys. I think it was at the first one or the second one. Untold numbers. Untold numbers of perch. I'm back on double reds. And it definitely seems that's what they want. It looks like I might actually have lost a shot off the float there. No, perhaps not. If I just chuck some of these have gone way off. I've got a job finding ones that haven't turned completely to sink, because the maggot is obviously going to sink, and I think they sink faster than the actual caster itself. There we go. There we go, right in the middle of them. Ah, oh, what's this one? What's this one? There's someone. Another perch. We try a single caster there. Generally, oh yeah, straight away. Oh, that's a bigger size perch, people. That's a bigger one. Pretty against the sky. Out we go. Plop. Sometimes just a slap of the float will actually do it. Like that. Is it a roach or perch? Another perch. Well, you can't say I'm not made up for last night. Wrong species. But I'm going to give the last hour. I've gone back to the feeder and I've got a fish hooked up. I don't think this is a perch. I think this is a bream. Yeah. Here he comes. If there's one thing bream love is a bunch of worms. Like that. There he goes. After last night's fishless, I was settled for those. Double dendrobenas that time. Oh, fish on. It feels a bit perchy. Yeah, it's a small perch, I'd say. Foul hook, small perch. You couldn't do that if you wanted to. Well, grass dendrobenas are going to a good cause. They're slightly char-grilled. Well, I'm kind of surprised the carp hasn't put in an appearance yet, I have to say. Let's get it back. Go on.
Hi Graeme, so let's speak about a junior gun. So we get asked quite often, they come in with a son, daughter, I'd like to take my child shooting, and they've tried shooting my rifle and it's too big. Reasons being is stock length is generally from here to here, and it's just too big for them. So if I grab up a full size rifle, which you might have seen in one of your other videos, if you look where the triggers sit, and look how long the stocks are,
So an inch and a half,
come over, yeah. So it doesn't seem a lot, but when you're a lot smaller, it's hard to grab hold of and pick up. A lot heavier as well.
So you'd be stretching if you were a youngster.
You would be stretching. So I suggest, like when we get the juniors shooting in here, this is a it's perfect model. They're lighter. They don't weigh anything. They're generally 7 foot-pounds. It's a break barrel. So again, even with the kids, teach them to place the gun on their leg solid. Little tap just to break it open, and then all the way down. Okay. You see that's a 177 pellet. I will have to shoot that one out of that later, which is fine. As you see, it's plastic, like the synthetic stocks.
Is that a composite? What they call
It's
it?
like composite. Well, they call them synthetic, but it's
Yeah.
just like a moulded plastic. So some of them are hollow. Well, you get some like if you shine them up there, Graham. Although they look synthetic, that is a rubberised paint on a wooden stock. So it's still that wood under there, but with a rubberised paint, which gives it a nicer feel. So, but you know, the synthetic style one doesn't mark. You can get it dirty, clean it down easy. It doesn't weigh anything.
Yep.
It's half power. What they call 7 foot-pounds.
Yeah.
So junior rifles generally they're shooting 10 metres and maybe.
So you're closer to the
you're
target.
Closer to the target. So probably I don't know if you shine down the end there. Probably from here to the end, if that looks any good on the camera. That's probably like a 10 metre run roughly.
Yeah, pace it out.
Yeah. That is the sort of distance I'm shooting for plinking. So at the moment, this one has what we call iron sights on it, or open sights. So it's a fixed blade on the front, and you've got adjustment for up and down, and left and right on these. So I don't know if we might really.
And your channels for a scope as well if you want to.
Yeah, so that's your rail there if you want to upgrade to a scope.
Yeah.
But I suggest if all kids learn to shoot on them, brilliant, and then move them up to a scope. You know, it's good. But the main factors are lighter, shorter, smaller in the butt, and it's all to do with the distance. So for me,
why is it two triggers on it, Grant? What's that?
The trigger. So that is actually a safety on this gun. So
I see.
When you push the trigger forward, it's like a feature on the Gammo guns. Generally, you'll see them like this. So forwards is safety off. If it's covering the trigger, safety's on.
I see. Yes.
Okay. So and that's how that works. So that's I can't pull the trigger back.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, when it's cocked, if that's forward and then you pull the trigger back, it's what they call a two-stage trigger.
Okay.
I'll show you on this one because I need to
Discharge
decompress that one.
yeah.
Yeah. So as you pull, you can see that sort of my fingers stopping there.
Yeah.
So some people call it creeping, something like that, but I think it's essential on a gun that you don't have what they call a match hair trigger, because if you touch it, it's surprised it just go off. So most guns, they will not set them below maybe £3 a pull for the actual
trigger release.
Trigger release, because otherwise if it's too light, it just go off. So it sort of, you can feel it touching there. It's a bit of a notch, so that's where the second stage is. So you squeeze, feel the notch, hold there, and then bang. And does that change when you've got it powered up, ready to go? Yeah, so when you cock it, it loads a spring, compresses the air, and what you'll find is when you pull back, that'll be more pronounced. The stopping
I see, so you'll feel it more,
You'll feel it more, so, and that's the same with this one. So I say that's got a different safety feature. This one's an auto safety, that when you cock the gun, it pops out there, and you just push it in, and when you see that popping out, it's ready to fire. Gotcha, yeah. Alright, so those are. And they come with a bag as well. You can get a bag for you can get a small bag, size. So I will grab one of my bags out and show you. I think it's quite fitting for the children. It's called a rat bag. Got one actually. Oh no, not the rat bag. So, you know, little squares. Oh, I see. Bags. Yeah. Like those ideal outer pockets, so you can put pellets and that's a real good idea, because I just got an ordinary sleeve. And you put the pellets in, every time you pick the thing out, the bloody pellets all over everywhere, and the tin burst open and stuff. We also do these little neoprene zip pouches that sound really ridiculous. I used to think, a bit gimmicky, but you place them in your neoprene pouch, zip it up, and it just contains all your pellets. It keeps them rigid, doesn't it? I would love to say I've shown you some, but I've sold so many, I've run out today, so I'm going to have to get some more. So, but yeah, you pop those in, strap, and then even if that is in your gun bag, it's not pushing around your gun. So you can put that in here, and your gun in the main part. Gun in the main part, and away you go. So yeah, you've got duck straps on that one, so you can put it on your back. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Stay swinging over your shoulder. Square. I mean, some people who come to the shop, because I'm based on a high street, they don't like walking up the high street with a gun, which is totally I can see that. I totally understand. A lot of guys pull up and then they give me a shout, and I'll run out, grab the guns, bring them in, they pop the car, and then come back. Although, if it's in a bag, you're totally entitled to walk up and down town. But there's always some Karen that's going to be on the phone saying someone's going to rob a bank with a pellet gun. Well, this is a part we have a few characters occasionally walk in the shop with a gun out of a case and say, "Well, I didn't think it was a problem, it's only an air rifle." But if you realistically think about it, anyone walking across the road with a gun, being an air rifle, it looks like a rifle still. So therefore, if the police were to see you with that, you'd be in trouble. And not only them, I'd probably get in trouble as well, because I need to enforce people who come and leave the shop with a bag it and tag it, guys. Bag it and tag it, definitely 100%, because it will get you in trouble. So I like the idea of square bags, because when I suddenly pop my gun in there and zip it up, well, that could be a guitar, it could be... It's not the shape of a gun. So it's very true. It's quite fitting, and other people, that's why I buy in some of the square bags, because people prefer it, because it doesn't look like what's in the bag. Do they do those for full-size guns, adult guns? Yeah, we do full-size, so that's about 90 centimetres, we do 120, and we've got various different sizes, so we've got loads of different bags. And if people want to get in touch with you, they can get in touch with you and give them the length of their gun, and you sort them out with the bag. So generally what I suggest is, if you're local to us and you're going to pop in with your gun to pick a bag, bring your gun into the shop, and then we'll try it in the bags and see what suits really, because sometimes if you have things like a bipod, which would have, on one of these, it would have touched under here, and it's obviously quite a bit chunkier. With a big scope, it's a tall scope, you don't always get the height in the bag, so on a standard bag like this one, you got the taper. That's fine for a standard gun. That would fit. It's a standard smallish scope. It fits in the bag lovely. But when you get some that are a bit chunkier, like these on the stocks, when you've got a scope on there, you're up this height. And the bipod. You might be able to see on this one here. So that probably wouldn't fit in that style of bag. So we do these bigger, squarer bags, or wider as well, so you can actually fit the bigger guns in with a bipod, a scope, and all the bits and pieces on it. Brilliant. Well, just appreciate that, Grant. It's something different again. If you want to come in and see Grant, he'll get you sorted out with whatever it is you need in this, the rodent control or indeed target shooting. Thank you.
Okay, Graham, so yeah, let's talk about these. These are a lesser known fish product called the Power Tail. They do a range of saltwater ones, okay, so this sort of size, and down to very small stuff. You can see that's a tiny 3.8 gram freshwater one, trout, perch, that sort of thing. Once again, usual fish, superb quality and finish on it all.
There are colours on it. I can see the colours in the camera there.
They are, you know, once again, a beautiful fishing lure. An unusual, almost like a vein on the back, which creates a very strong vibration when you retrieve. They're actually quite heavy for the size of the lure. This one here, you know, you can cast these things to the horizon. I personally love fishing with them, and you know, they do work. And there's a variety of colours. There must be 15 to 20 colours and a variety of sizes, from this very small 3.8 gram one up to even a 55 gram, which is bigger than the stuff we've got here.
Now tell us how that tail, I've never seen anything like that on the back of a lure. So how does that work?
Once again, a unique fish patent, okay? The guys that are in charge of fish really know what they're talking about, and they're always searching for unique ideas to make their stuff stand out from the vast sea of fishing gear that's out there. It's a unique concept, Graeme. What happens basically when you pull the lure through the water, this just creates an enormous vibration, and you can feel it through the line. When you can feel it when you hold your rod and your reel, you can feel the vibration.
You get it through the rod tip? You
can. It's quite uncanny, the vibration that thing gives off. I've never seen anything like it myself.
I've never seen anything like that. No, it's
bizarre. They're fabulous for bass, all sort of predatory fish, and like I say, if you want to try something different.
And a single hook it comes with as well, yeah?
Just comes with a single hook and a variety of sizes and an enormous range of colours. I think they call these ones silver sardine. You can see on this very tiny one, what does that say there? Natural minnow. But once again, Graeme, there's 20 different colours, maybe say 8 to 10 different sizes. A unique fish product, and some suitable for saltwater, and the very small ones, great for freshwater.
So here's some of the plants I've got in the garden, one of which was grown from a seed. 4 feet tall it is now. It was from last year and it regrew itself this year. I've also got poppies like this, which I've grown from seeds myself, held over from a previous year, and plants there that we bought obviously from the local nursery. When I say local, it's up Virginia Waterway. These are wildflowers we put seeds in. Check these ones out, lovely colours, marigolds, blue lobelias, fine. Now what are you noticing about these flowers? Yeah, stunning in colour, absolutely one of the best years at the moment. Petunias or whatever, I don't know what they are. I've also got geraniums there that we've held over from a previous year and salvaged and saved, so it's what I call free plants, and there is another seed grown wildflower. So what are you noticing? Yes, that's right. Where the heck are the insects? Because look at this massive bank of flowers I've got. Now normally we'd be sitting out there and we've had nothing like this show of flowers because I put a lot of wildflowers in. See, there's one bee, there is one bee on that flower there. And that's an absolute mass of colours and scents coming out. And what worries me is, how are things going to pollinate in, let's say, the cornfields in our harvests? I mean, this bush, I forget the name of it, some of you gardener guys will know what this is. This is an absolute magnet for bees and butterflies. There it is again. But listen, what's around it? Nothing is round it. I want to know where the insects have gone. Here are the rose bushes. They came from, dug out of Mike's garden before he sold it down in Yeovil. He was going to leave them. I thought, no, we'll dig them up and we'll take those. I have a space for those and they're free. But again, no insects. This is from Mike's old woodland. These I grew from cuttings. There's one bumblebee in, and I looked across it, the entire bush of Lavatera. Now that was grown from a 4-inch cutting about 3 years ago. And look at the superb flowers I've got there. Now normally that would be swarming with bees, insects. There is, other than that one bumblebee, virtually nothing there. I don't understand it. The pond, the lilies haven't come out great this year. the odd dragonfly zooming over. Look, choke with levels drop because there's no rain, but it's just weird. I've got blanket weed, so I've got plenty of wildflowers there. I've built a new predator table, for a bird feeding table for Colin the Kite and his cronies in what we call the D. Dug all the weeds out there, barked it, and put a sort of a scenic appeal of some antique petrified wood from Mike's. It's a root actually of ash from Mike's woodland. So that'll hopefully keep the weeds down. And there my pièce de résistance is a conker tree I've grown from a conker. It is now just over in its 4th year. So I feel this is going to turn into an enormous conker tree, which I won't see the full growth of at my age. Okay, I haven't been fishing. Why haven't I been fishing much? Because of that up there in the sky. Is it nimbostratus? Is it cirrus? Is it high cirrus? It is indeed upper level clouds, and that is indicative of strong winds. And this year there's been more winds than ever. I want to know, why so much wind, and why are there no insects? Tell us in the comments page.